Hey, what's going on? You know who it is, you know what it is. All right, you guys, peep gang. All right, let me talk about a story that recently came up. And I'm going to talk about it right quick because I'm about to get into the Cardi B stuff. But here's a little, appetizer to discuss. You know, one thing that's very complex in our community is the whole dynamic of the one drop rule to colorism to the whole light skin, dark skin thing to the, okay, if one of your parents is not black, does that make you black or less blacker or not black at all? So I love like having these type of discussions with, our people, because it's one of these type of situations where everybody is going to have a different opinion. But in particularly, I want more of the sisters to talk about this. The brothers, of course, y'all welcome, but I would really like to hear what the sisters have to say about this. Now, in case you don't know, there's a rapper out of the ATL, young lady. Her name is Mulatto, and the name should be self-explanatory. Nice looking sister. Cute little sister though. She old enough to be my daughter, so I ain't on her like that. But she's a attractive looking woman. She out of the ATL. But something very interesting happened with her. Now, I just want to give my personal take on this. Now, in case you don't know, basically she came under fire a few days ago because basically somebody put her on blast. And I'm about to get to something else that I talked about earlier. Put her on blast because apparently she received some kind of like endorsement, or was supposed to get an endorsement where basically they wanted her to promote somebody's hair products. And it was sent to her. I think she might have been paid or whatever the case may be, and she was supposed to endorse it. She didn't do it. This is supposed to be a few years ago, and basically she sort of ran off with the product. So basically the person that she did that to got at her, and she was like, hey, you did this, you did that, you ran off with my product, you didn't endorse it, you didn't pay for it. So the lady kind of was feeling some kind of way, which basically she had every right to. If she did a word of mouth agreement, then that's unfortunate for her, because sometimes you just can't rely on a word of mouth with certain people, or just some people. Sometimes it's better to have stuff, written down. And apparently she didn't have a written contract down, so it was probably a word of mouth thing. She ran off with the hair, and basically the lady was saying, hey, you ran off with my stuff, you didn't pay for it. So then what made it worse, well, the mulatto woman pretty much admitted that she did it. And she gonna say, oh, well, why you bringing up old stuff? Now, I don't have the exact quote. I'm not going verbatim. I'm just basically quoting what's supposed to have been said. And she was like, she pretty much admitted that she ran off with the hair. But she basically said, well, why you tripping off something that happened a long time ago? And you basically using this for clout. Now, technically what she did was she stole the lady's shit. Because whether you like it or not, if somebody give you something and you take it and don't pay for it, or whatever the case may be, you pretty much took it. So she admitted that she did it, but she accused her of clout chasing. And tried to make it look like she was trying to front her off. So here's the thing. The mulatto lady is not even taking accountability. She didn't say, well, I apologize and let's try to work this out behind the scenes. She basically accused her of clout chasing, which, by the way, that terminology is used a little too much. That term is used too much. Clout chasing, hating, you're being too emotional. Like, those terminologies are used way too much in certain situations. You know. But the thing is with people like Mulatto, and I went and seen an old interview with her when she was talking to DJ, you know who, Mr. I Love to Exploit Black People for Profit. And he asked her what she is. And she basically said that she got a white mother and a black father. And she don't identify as black or white. She calls herself biracial. Now, this is why sometimes a lot of black people say, you know what, I don't trust biracial blacks, because they feel like they have to pick a side. And I think to a certain degree you do have to pick a side, whether you got, you know what I'm saying, you know, one parent that's not of the same racial ethnicity. I really do feel that way. That's my personal opinion. Whatever you look more like, that's what you should claim. That's my thing. Because in most cases, if you got a pit bull that's mixed with something, in most cases, don't you call it a pit? So, even though it may be mixed with something else, so people will still call it a pit bull. You know, I can make this in even simple terms. Remember how back in the day they used to sometimes mix certain Jordans with Air Force Ones, but they still would call them Jordans? So there you have it. They still would be labeled as Jordans, and they would come in the Jordan box. So, I mean, it's really that simple. But what bothers me about people like her, when it comes to the music that they rap about, well, they want to rap about certain things. They want to have what you call nigga privileges, but then they don't want to be considered a nigga. You know, people like her, what's the other one's name? Doja Cat. People like her. And we all know what's up with Doja Cat. She pretty much. But people like her, Mulatto, pull that shit all the time. But then they get on their records and they talk a bunch of shit. But then they want to promote themselves as a black artist. Now, whether we like it or not, unfortunately, certain black artists present themselves in a certain type of way, whether it's good or bad. But she wants to use black images and use her black background basically to sell records and promote herself. But then to a certain degree, she don't want to say she black. And this is why sometimes people have issues with, you know, biracial black people, or, you know, whatever. And she does try to play both sides of the fence. So people was just like, okay, I don't know about her. For every Colin Kaepernick or Michi X, you have a Dojo Cat, or, you know, a Mulatto. I mean, her rap name is Mulatto. So, I mean, for real. And then people try to say, well, you know, I can't say I'm this and that because it looks like I'm denying my mother and all. No, you're not denying your mother. You know you got a mother. We know you got a mother because you came out of a woman. So, you know, but that's all I have to say about that. Let me know what you think. This is your boy Town Biz. I'm out.